Tonight, shocking updates revolving the Murdaugh trial, major updates coming into multiple Clemson policies, and the sports update you won't. All that and more. This is Clemson News Now. Thanks for.
And I'm Gianna Viola. A concerning incident in downtown Clemson early Friday morning leaves people concerned for their safety. On February 13th, around 2 a.m., an altercation in the Keith Street parking garage escalated into gunfire. According to the Clemson Police Department, 23-year-old Gavin Lamar Tukes allegedly retrieved a 9mm handgun from a nearby vehicle and fired at least 14 rounds at a group of people who were trying to leave the scene. Thankfully, the shots struck a concrete wall and no injuries were reported.
Tukes was later located and arrested by Seneca police, and he's facing serious charges, including attempted murder, unlawful possession of a firearm, and discharging a firearm into an occupied building. Authorities note that Tukes is a convicted felon, currently on probation for prior violent crime convictions, and has a lengthy criminal history. He's being held without bond at the Pickens County Law Enforcement Center.
In Colleton County, the state's biggest courtroom drama continues to play out, where former attorney Alex Murdaugh is pursuing appeals of his double murder convictions. In filings and hearings over the past year, Murdaugh's legal team has argued that pretrial publicity, allegedly jury influencing conduct, and other procedural issues undermine his right to a fair trial, while state prosecutors have countered that the evidence against him was overwhelming and the verdict should stand.
Appellate judges, which are circuit judges in the federal system that review decisions from lower trial courts, have weighed requests for a new trial as they review testimony about alleged contact between a court official and jurors, along with questions about how the original jury pool was selected and instructed. While the courts have allowed additional fact-finding on some of those claims, prosecutors maintain that any irregularities were minor and would not have altered the jury's decision, leaving the victim families and the broader South Carolina public watching closely for whether the convictions will ultimately be upheld or whether a new trial could be ordered.
Clemson is rolling out major changes in the upcoming year, promoting a mix of excitement, surprise, and anticipation among students eager to see what unfolds.
OpenAI and Clemson have reached a deal to deploy ChatGPT EDU across campus, putting the university among dozens of public institutions adopting a secure, institution-wide version of the popular AI chat box for teaching, learning, and research.
Public posts from regional media describe Clemson as one of dozens of state universities joining the platform, while also noting that some campus critics worry the tool will normalize cheating and divert resources from other academic priorities.
Under the agreement, faculty and students will gain access to a version of ChatGPT specifically configured for higher education, including privacy and data controls that are not available in the free consumer product. University officials and AI proponents on campus have framed the rollout as a way to help students draft code, summarize complex readings, and get rapid feedback on writing, while still emphasizing that course syllabi will spell out strict limits on when AI help is allowed.
Meanwhile, skeptical faculty and student leaders have pushed for clear guardrails, including plagiarism guidance and monitoring to ensure that assignments reflect original work rather than over-reliance on generative AI.
From algorithms to athletics, Jordan York has the update on all things Clemson athletics. Jordan, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Libby. Well, Tigers, it's been a wild week in Clemson sports, so let me get you up to speed. Starting with softball, their roller coaster of a season has added to its share of ups and downs. The number 24 Tigers went into San Marcos last weekend and had a rough start to their weekend, falling in the first two games of the tournament to the hosting Texas State Bobcats 4-0, and then being run-ruled by number 8 Arkansas 12-0 in just 5 innings. Sunday ended up being a different story, with 2 wins over Wichita State 9-3 and shutting out BYU 7-0. The 6-4 Tigers went up to Charlotte yesterday to take on the 49ers, and that roller coaster took a dive once more. After third baseman Marion Collins and Sarah Breaux got the Tigers up 2-0 in the first inning, and then in the fourth, Taylor Pipkins made it 3-0 with an RBI single, it was a collapse in the bottom of the inning. Charlotte was able to rip off 6 runs and take a 6-3 lead, and from there, Clemson just couldn't recover. Charlotte won 8-3 in a shocker and leaves the Tigers reeling as they head into action this weekend at McWhorter Stadium for the Clemson Classic. Lipscomb, Coastal Carolina, and Baylor all await this weekend and serve as a chance for number 24 to find their footing once again. Walking just across the street, let's go ahead and talk about Clemson baseball because they have been electric so far this season. The Tigers came into this season ranked 19th and boast one of, if not the best, pitching staffs in the nation. And it was on full display opening weekend in the 3-game series against Army. After a tight Game 1 saw the Tigers survive 1-0, it was domination in the doubleheader last Saturday. Army proved to be no match as they fell 10-0 and 7-0 in the first series sweep of the season for the Tigers. After senior pitchers Aiden Kanak, Michael Sharman, and junior Justin Lagernick were sensational opening weekend, it was up to true freshman Eston Simpson to keep it going at Doug Kingsmore Stadium on Tuesday against Charlotte. Simpson did exactly that, tossing 4 scoreless innings and earning the win. The Tiger bats were all gas, no breaks, and highlighted by a Jacob Gerald grand slam in the first inning, his 4th career slam. The 19th best team in the nation made easy work of the 49ers, winning 11-1 in 7 innings. The homestand at DKS continues this weekend with the Tigers set to meet the Bryant Bulldogs. That series begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. Women's lacrosse was upended by Stanford in the top 10 battle 10-9 last Saturday. But the question was, how would the Tigers respond? Well, the answer was emphatic. A thumping of Queen's University, which saw the Tigers put up a program record for points in a game with 41, third most goals in a game with 24, and a 24-5 final score. The Tigers moved to 3-1 on the season and looked to make it 4-1, but they head down to Georgia this weekend in a neutral site matchup with the number 12 Florida Gators. That battle begins Saturday at 1. After a win in a double overtime thriller against Georgia Tech, it was Sean Poppy and women's basketball who were trying to follow that up with a win at Syracuse. It was a back and forth close battle the entire game, and in the final minute, the Tigers were down by just 2, 66-64. After a Syracuse turnover, the Tigers had the chance to tie it up and possibly send the game to overtime. But the layup was missed, and the Tigers fell 68-64. However, the good news is for the Tigers, they already clinched their spot in the women's ACC basketball tournament, so it can only go up from here. On Sunday, they will meet a huge test. The number 9 Duke Blue Devils come into town to take on the Tigers, and they want everyone to be there. Clemson Marketing is offering a share of prizes summing up to $150,000 for this game. Littlejohn is going to be packed. It's going to be loud. And the Tigers have a chance to have a top 10 win under Coach Poppy for the first time in his short career in Clemson. Tip-off against the Devils from Durham is Sunday at 2. And last but not least, it's men's basketball. After falling to Virginia Tech and then getting handled by Duke in Cameron Indoor Stadium, the Tigers were trying to avoid a 3-game skid in Winston-Salem against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Having fallen out of the top 25, it was up to Brad Brownell to get his Tigers to fight their way back in it. However, that didn't quite happen. The combination of Wake Forest coming out red hot and the Tigers coming out flat put Clemson in a 13-point hole at halftime. A 9-1 run put the Tigers within 5 with still 16 minutes remaining in the game. But unfortunately for the visitors, that was as close as it got. Wake Forest was able to keep their foot on the gas the rest of the way and take the victory 85-77. Sitting now 4th in the ACC with a 10-4 record in conference play, the Tigers look to get back on the right track against Florida State this Saturday at Littlejohn. 3 straight losses for the Tigers, and with a couple more 50-50 games this season against Louisville and UNC, and March is just around the corner. Is it time to hit the panic button on the Tigers? Or is falling off just a little bit and no longer being a visible title contender exactly what they want in order to make a deep run in March as they did as a 6th seed just 2 years ago? Only time will tell. Libby, back to you.
Thanks, Jordan. Staying on campus, Clemson is preparing for a major shift in how first-year students bring cars to Clemson. Beginning with the fall 2026 semester, first-year and bridge students who live on campus will not be allowed to park a personal vehicle on campus during the fall and spring terms of their first year, according to university parking policy updates and official announcements.
The policy defines a first-year student as anyone classified as a first-time freshman, including students who arrive with enough credits to count as an upperclassman academically, but are in their first year at Clemson University. University leaders say the change is aimed at reducing congestion and frustration in campus lots where commuters often struggle to find open spaces, even with the newly launched Tiger Commute app.
Statistics show that about 1/3 of peer institutions already limit first-year vehicle access and indicate that many cars bought by first-year and bridge students sit unused for long stretches.
Clemson officials stress that the policy is not a blanket ban without expectations. A waiver process will open in June of 2026 for first-year students with document needs, such as medical requirements, off-campus jobs, or other special circumstances. Students must have an on-campus housing assignment before applying, and the published timetable sets the application window from June 5th to June 21st, with review and decisions by late June and permit sales for qualifying students scheduled for early July.
To offset reduced access to personal transit, the university plans to expand transit offerings, including additional bus routes, improved nightline services, and increased shuttle options. Administrators argue that encouraging students to remain on campus on weekends will strengthen community connections and help Clemson reach its stated goal of delivering the nation's top student experience, while also advancing sustainability and easing daily parking pressure for commuters, faculty, and staff.
In addition to parking changes, Greek life at Clemson is facing scrutiny, placing 4 fraternities on probation for hazing violations. The most recent addition is Delta Chi, following an investigation by the Office of Community and Ethical Standards.
The report from fall 2025 found that Delta Chi incorporated hazing into their new member process, including practices like designated driving, personal servitude, lineups with mild calisthenics, and even scripting responses that could interfere with investigations.
Delta Chi has been hit with disciplinary probation through January of 2028 and social probation through the end of the fall semester of 2026. This follows similar violations for Kappa Sigma, Sigma Nu, and Phi Delta Theta during the 2024 to 2025 academic year.
Clemson University continues to emphasize its zero-tolerance policy on hazing. If you're involved in Greek life or considering it, remember, safety and respect come first. Resources are available through the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life.
With South Carolina temperatures on the rise, reporter Liz Hoff has more on what to expect this week. Liz, what's on the forecast?
Good evening, Tigers. If you are ready for some warmer weather, this weekend is bringing the heat here in Clemson. Friday feels more like spring has officially sprung with warm afternoon temperatures close to 80 degrees. We will see a mix of sun and clouds, and while most of the day does look great, there is a chance a few rain showers may pop up. Keep that rain jacket in handy just in case. Saturday stays nice and comfortable with highs in the upper 60s. We are expecting this day to be more on the cloudy side, so no need to bring your sunglasses. Also be on the lookout for some possible light rain showers. By Sunday, the cooler air slides back in with temperatures dropping from the mid-50s. We are also expecting much drier skies than the start of the weekend. So Tigers, make sure to enjoy that taste of warm weather while it's here and plan around a few light showers. That's all I have for you this week, Tigers. Back to you.
Thanks, Liz. We wrap up tonight remembering an actor whose work shaped a generation of the 90s and early 2000s. TV actor James Van Der Beek has passed away at the age of 48, best known for starring as Dawson Leary in the iconic teen drama Dawson's Creek. Van Der Beek passed away peacefully on February 11th, surrounded by family. After a battle with stage 3 colorectal cancer, he publicly shared his diagnosis in November of 2024 and documented his treatment journey on social media, often highlighting the support from his wife, Kimberly, and their 6 children.
Van Der Beek's career spanned from heartthrob roles in Varsity Blues to later appearances in shows like CSI, Cyber, and Pose. His family released a statement saying he faced his final days with courage, faith, and grace, and asked for privacy during this time. Our thoughts are with his loved ones and fans who grew up with his characters.
That's all we have for you this week. Tune in next week for all the news you need to know. I'm Gianna Viola.
And I'm Libby Smith, Clemson News Now.